I got some Rick T. From the field to the big leagues. Bang Moody from the three, I'm like KD. #1 draft pick, you should pick me. You ain't considered the GOAT if you don't got a ring. Eric and Jello like Brady throwing it to AB. My team a home run with more stars than the Yankees. Now we getting cocky. Had to put my goals on ice like Sidney Crosby. No, they can't stop me. Got my swing on the back. Put my team on my back. You can get all the games, all the stats, and all the facts. This ain't Stephen A. or Max. Too sharp to get skipped, and you can't dispute that. This a duck put back. If you ever take an L, then we gotta run it back. If you coming here for sports, then you never coming back. That's real, homie, for real. It's a zero, Damian Lil. Now I'm pulling up from the logo. Bang, making them feel. Grinding to get the deal. Get your family in the hills. Get focused, put your work in on the court and on the field. That's real, homie, for real. It's a zero, Damian Lil. Now I'm pulling up from logos. Bang, making them feel. I got some Rick T. From the field to the big leagues. Bang Moody from the three, I'm like KD. #1 draft pick, you should pick me. You ain't considered the GOAT if you don't got a ring.
Let the beat drop, hey, one more time. We are live with the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. What is up, everybody? This is your host, Eric Holmes. You can follow me on Twitter at RickT_E. And we are back with another banger, man. 1 year later, we are back on Saturday nights. So joining alongside of me, swinging it to Littleton first. Let's get it to my guy, Jello. Jello, how you doing, brother?
Good. How's it going, my man?
Good, man. I'm ready to get this started. And then swinging it to Foco, per the usual, my guy, T-Cave. How you doing, Tony?
We good, baby.
Saturday night, baby. Saturday night. Little J6 in the chat. Yo, what is up? What is up to everybody tuning in? T-Cave, we are back in action. My boy, Football Silva, a.k.a. Angel, the perfect and created designer of this beautiful graphic that we have here on the Rick T Podcast. Angel is our Rick T Podcast graphic designer, so shout out to him for doing all the great things that we have going on, man. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. We have a hell of a show today, man. Today, Saturday, September 4th, 2021, college football was back, baby. Tony, I know your UCLA boys are playing LSU right now and looking good while at it, but I do want to go ahead and talk about one thing that may happen or may not happen. There's 2 minutes and 38 seconds in the third quarter in the Georgia-Clemson game. Clemson is down 10-0.
Ooh.
Clemson is down 10-0. So I think we're smelling. There's an upset brewing that we're smelling. Unless Clemson can go ahead and do it right now, man. I'm seeing right here, right now, Clemson had just got the ball to go down the field. So let's see what Clemson can do. Tony, how's your LSU UCLA game going?
We just threw a pick. But right now we're up 14-7. Our defense is playing really well. We got a stellar running back too. So I got high hopes. I think we're going to knock off 16, hopefully move into that top 25.
I like it. LSU ranked 16. Jello, did you watch any college football today, my brother?
I didn't. So I don't keep up with college football as I do everything else. There's so much other stuff going on that I peek at scores from time to time, check out stats, different stuff like that. But outside of that, I didn't watch anything today, I should say.
Love it. And I'm getting key here from the studio backstage that someone has something to say about their Oklahoma Sooners. So let's swing it backstage to the studio. Justin Sanchez, man, how you doing backstage, bro?
Man, doing great. Yeah.
What do you think about your Oklahoma Sooners today, bro?
We look kind of rough, not gonna lie, for being ranked number 2. Defense didn't show up till later. Rattler threw 3 interceptions, 1 to start off, and we started showing out beginning of the third, and then end of the third, man, we just kind of lost it and almost lost the game.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. I was sitting there watching your Oklahoma Sooners, sitting here thinking Justin's going to be pissed backstage tonight. I'm just going to be sitting there listening for him in my little earpiece, saying if he's going to be saying anything about Spencer Rattler or the number 2 ranked Oklahoma Sooners, coming across with a 5-point win over unranked Tulane. So, hey, that was a close one, man.
Yeah, Tulane's got the city on their back, so they're playing with all their heart.
Facts, man. Appreciate you. We'll definitely tune in with you later. I'm definitely going to need to be reaching backstage to get your opinions on some things, but we'll be checking in with you soon. All right, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's start it off with the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. Like I said before at the beginning of the show, thank you for everyone for tuning in. It is a Saturday edition, so you know we're going to get into it. You know it's going to be grimy. So let's get right into it, man. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about specifically. A lot of stuff also. So college football, man. Let me go ahead and share my screen right here, right now. College football has just started. As you guys see here, there was a game. Jalen Robinson fooled the UFC training staff with this one. So go ahead and take a look and see what he did with this play. So UFC against Boise State. He gets rocked. Go ahead and point at his head, gets the flag, 15 yards. Key this. It's a fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. He gets the 15-yard penalty and hops right up, hyped that he got the flag, daps up his homeboys, saying, what is up with that, man? Give me that 15 yards. So let's go ahead and swing it to you guys. Now the football is back. I feel like that rule right there is kind of, and I'm lagged right now. Sorry about this. Frozen. Don't know why. But that rule right there is kind of one of those rules I feel like it's kind of like NBA like where those guys kind of lean into the defensive player and then go ahead and get the foul. So Tony, how are you feeling about guys going ahead and doing that, getting fouls and then popping right back up?
I think it's going to give football a bad name in a sense. You hear the common making fun of soccer because people are flopping all over the place, and I just don't want us to go down that path for football necessarily. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get those points. So at the end of the day, can't be mad at it.
Sorry, I had to step away for a few seconds.
He got the yards at least. So
Jello swinging.
Jello, how about you, man?
Yeah, how do you feel about? Sorry, you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Tony. Okay, cool. Jello, how are you feeling about players kind of doing, I wouldn't say cheap things, but things to kind of get fouls, knowing they're all right, and kind of being beneficial to the offensive side of the ball, knowing where penalties and stuff have leaded. So how are you feeling about that?
I mean, just because he played it out like he did doesn't mean the foul wasn't committed. So he took the foul that already happened, one of those fouls that could be missed in that instance, and he sold it. The foul actually happened. He sold it and sold it well enough where he fooled, a whole sideline of people at that point. So, I mean, foul is committed. He got the yards from that foul. I mean, what if he didn't sell it? What if it didn't happen? You know what I mean? So, I mean, in that instance, I mean, go for it. I mean, if they're going to foul you, you might as well, show everybody what they are doing, even if it is that little stuff at that point. So he got the yards. He moved them forward. So he went forward, not back. So you can't complain about that.
Yeah, man. I love it. That was a great take. I'm not going to share my screen anymore because that's making me laggy. So I'll just go ahead and talk about the topics that we have on hand today. So first things first, I'm reading a report from the Bears newsroom. It's saying Justin Fields is open the season Justin Fields to open the season as the Bears scout team quarterback. So it went from QB1 to QB2 to him being the starting scout team quarterback. Honestly, my opinion on that, I think they're doing that because he can kind of play any kind of role, no matter what quarterback you're going against, whether you're going against, for example, Peyton Manning. I feel like he can probably sit in that pocket and kind of be that Peyton Manning type of player. Or if you have a Lamar Jackson that you're going against, he can kind of be that running scout team quarterback. So I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it. But Joe, I'll swing it to you, man. How are you feeling about Justin Fields to start the season as a scout team quarterback?
I mean, it's just poor decision making when it comes to the guys running the Bears. When you look at Matt Nagy at the head coach and then their general manager at that point, because at this point they've made so many stupid mistakes, they don't want to look stupid anymore. You got $10 million tied up into Andy Dalton. You got $9 million tied up into Nick Foles per year at this point. And you trade up, you draft Fields, which was the right choice. Don't get me wrong. That was the absolute right choice. He should be the starter, but Andy Dalton was guaranteed the starting spot. You promised these things to Nick Foles as well. I mean, this is where, the Bears really suffer is, they let Mitch Trubisky walk in $2.5 million. You could drop Dalton. I mean, Trubisky's a better choice than, Dalton or Foles at that point. And I think that's the predicament they're in. They've dug themselves so deep, such a big hole at this point they can't get out. So they're just like, we're just going to do this because we have so much money tied up into them. So we're gonna, see if we can get their worth out of them, which isn't how it's gonna be. So, it's just they make a lot of poor decisions, outside of trading for Khalil Mack or Allen Robinson per se at that point.
Facts.
But they make a lot of costly mistakes. I mean, letting Trubisky go and be the best backup in the league, at a league minimum at that point is just absolutely insane. So, I mean, I don't get what they're doing. I think once again they're just so tied up that they made too many promises. And now they can't keep them all. So that's why they are where they are right now. So.
That's facts, man. Tony, I'm going to swing it to you. But before I do want to let everybody know in chat at 35 viewers, if we get up to 35 viewers today, we're giving away another jersey. I know we just gave away a TJ Watt jersey last week, just sent it out. But, man, we are going to give away another one if we get up to 35 viewers. So spread the word of the Rick T Podcast Season 2, Episode 19 to your friends, your families, your loved ones, and let's get it popping. And don't forget, you guys can also answer along in chat as your comments will be popped up on screen throughout the topics, man. So, Tony, swinging it to you, man. I've answered. Jello's answered. How are you feeling about Justin Fields to start the season as the Bears scout team quarterback, man?
I'm going to go ahead and stir the pot here. I'm going to go ahead and start creating the thought process of maybe there's some drama going on behind closed doors. Because, I mean, he's just such a great, talented quarterback. I don't see why he would be on scout team. But after hearing you talk, Eric, I think that, okay, maybe that makes a little bit of sense. He can be versatile in the scout team. But I think maybe there's something going on that we don't know about. So I'm just going to start stirring the pot on that and see what happens.
I like that. Honestly, as soon as you said stir the pot, I was like, what is he going to say? But then as soon as you answered it and said there may be some drama behind closed doors, it doesn't seem like Justin Fields is confrontational or maybe that type of guy, but we don't know him. You know what I'm saying? Big Blue Jay, welcome to the Rick T Podcast. Again, my brother, let's go. But yeah, I don't know. From outside looking through the window, it doesn't look like Justin Fields would be that confrontational person. It didn't seem like he had much drama at Georgia, Ohio State, or from what we've seen on, QB1, whatever. From what everyone's seen of Justin Fields, he kind of seems like the golden child per se. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't seem like he would get in trouble. He just seems like he's there to do his job, and he's there to do his job well. But as soon as you said it, it popped the light in my head that maybe there is some drama behind closed doors. I wouldn't put it past Matt Nagy. I wouldn't put it past any of the Chicago Bears staff. That's kind of what they do. We said it on Draft Night Extravaganza when they took Fields. We had my boy Ty on here, and he said they finally took a quarterback. Will the sad face be over for the first time in 20 years? I don't know, man, because Justin Fields is still not the starter, so I'm not too hot on that. I'm not super sure on that. But let's get into the next topic. What
I
were you
just want to
saying?
say one more thing. I'm just hoping we don't see another Mitchell Trubisky type situation here.
Out of
Because Mitchell
Justin
Trubisky-
Fields, dude, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I would be very upset about that. I like Justin Fields as a quarterback, so hopefully we don't see that. But yeah, let's move on.
I think we all do, man. Swinging it over to you guys, another question that Bleacher Report Gridiron had, and I'm actually really interested in hearing your guys' answers to this. And I don't want to talk about this on Fantasy Almighty, even though it kind of is a fantasy question if you're into that kind of game. But I have a specific question for you two and everybody in chat. And, I'm going to bring my guy from backstage back because I really want to get his opinion on this as well. I feel like I need to reach out and see what everybody's saying on this because this is a hit or a miss. So who will have more receiving yards this year between these two players? Justin Jefferson or DK Metcalf? And we're going to go ahead and swing it to you two, or you first, Tony. Who's going to have more receiving yards this year, Justin Jefferson or DK Metcalf?
I'm going DK Metcalf. Russell Wilson finally got some help on the offensive line. I'm not saying that the offensive line is perfect now, but they did make some slight adjustments. And he's happy. He stayed there. So they obviously did something to make him a little bit happier. So I'm going to go ahead and say DK Metcalf, because a happy Russell Wilson is an MVP Russell Wilson, and you can't be an MVP without your star wide receiver.
Jello, swinging it to you, man. Who will have more receiving yards this year, Justin Jefferson or DK Metcalf?
I'm definitely going DK. So, I mean, Jefferson had 1,400 yards last year, but we're going to see a lot more play time out of Adam Thielen. They drafted, I always forget his name, this year at wide receiver as well. But you look at the Seahawks, and DK's their only big, down the field threat right now. Lockett's really going to be that 10, 15-yard guy. David Moore, is gone now. They did add, Gerald Everett, but those aren't long-distance guys where DK is. So I think DK is going to be that big, 30, 40, 50, yard reception guy all year. So I think this is the year he tops 1,500 yards. I know that sounds crazy, but the changes they needed to make, they did. They got some people in they need to. They got an entirely healthy defense right now. So I think this is really a chance for DK to really explode in the player he is and will always be. Pardon that. But I think he tops 1,500 yards this year. I think he leads the league. So that's coming from the world's biggest A.J. Brown fan. So.
Mouthful. Swinging it backstage, Justin Sanchez. Who will have more receiving yards this year, Justin Jefferson or DK Metcalf?
I'm going with Justin Jefferson here just because Russell Wilson didn't really perform how I thought he would last year, and I think he's going to be looking more for Tyler Lockett or Chris Carson or something. They're going to be running the rock a lot and spending a lot of time on defense, I feel like. Justin Jefferson, he has a chip on his shoulder. He balled out last year as a rookie. Now he's the second year. He's expected to do a lot better, which I expect him to do a lot better as well. And he's got some competition being these new rookie receivers that are in the league. So expect him to play very well.
Love it, man. Honestly, after hearing all of your guys' takes, it gives me a bold prediction for the season. I'm going to go ahead and go Justin Jefferson. I am a big DK fan, but we've been having this conversation for the last 2 years, Tony and I. Is Russell Wilson able to play well past week 8, past week 7, something like that? That's usually when his play starts to decline. I think we need to see that out of Russell Wilson for me to see DK be one of the top receivers in the league. I don't know. I'm just really high on Justin Jefferson, though. The guy out of LSU broke Randy Ross's rookie receiving record for the Minnesota Vikings last year. I really do feel like he has a chip on his shoulder and a lot of weight on his shoulder as well out there in the state of Minnesota. So I'm going to go ahead and go Justin Jefferson, but that's just me. Great takes from everybody, though.
100%.
I have these picks written down just in case.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely go ahead and see it, man.
Oh, it's Saturday night, boys. We're keeping track of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Please. Have to. The football season's back. I said we're taking track of everything to see who is right, to see who is this year's Rick Podcast analyst of the year.
And I call myself a better. So I better be up top.
I better be up top. Love it, man. Swinging into the next topic. Gardner Minshew, man. Gardner Minshew tells story of taking his shirt off in 2019 game versus Nick Sirianni, his new head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. Says the quarterback played his now coach in a game of horse on the pre-draft visit to the Colts. It got so intense he had to take his shirt off. Minshew thinks that's partly why the Eagles traded for him.
I think there's bigger reasons, but
I think there's bigger reasons too. That's like DK being like, the only reason that the Seahawks drafted me is because when Pete Carroll brought me into his office, I came in with my shirt off. Like I don't necessarily think that's why the head coach looked at you and was like, we need this guy. Like, look at his muscles. Like, look at him. This guy is real. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily think that's the issue with Gardner. I think it was more of a dedication thing, why maybe Nick Sirianni was like, hey, this guy is down to take his shirt off during horse. What will he do for me on the field when the game's on the line and he's on the 2-yard line? You know what I mean? I think that's probably more of the mindset. But just the saying itself, like he thinks that's the reason that they brought him to Philadelphia because he took his shirt off, is a weird saying in my opinion. But I don't know. I guess everyone has their own opinions. But I don't know. How you guys thinking on that?
All right, so I'm just going to start off with this. They traded for Gardner Minshew because they got him for nothing, and your backup is Joe Flacco. So, I mean, that alone, those two words, Joe Flacco, I mean, they're Eagles, but that doesn't fly at that point. So, I mean, that's why you go for Minshew, you go for the younger guy. Joe Flacco was drafted in, 07, 08? So, this is like a 13-year vet. And, yes, he won a Super Bowl with, a very, very, very good defense at that point. But he's not the guy. He is not the guy anymore. So you have Hurts, but, we saw how, the Eagles just dealt with him last year and how poorly they did that. So they have Minshew as that backup plan because he cost nothing. And, why not go for him at that point? Give up the same round pick that he was taken for a quarterback who's already proven what he can do. So I'm surprised it didn't cut Flacco after that trade, but it'll be what it'll be. So I think that's the big reason they made that choice. So, it doesn't hurt to have him. So why not?
Love it, man. Tony, before I swing it to you on this Nick Sirianni, Gardner Minshew question, I do want to update people on this game. Georgia is still up 10-0, and I just seen the meanest middle linebacker hit on a Clemson running back on this play. I don't know. Clemson might get upset here tonight. Just want to go ahead and let everybody know that DJ Uiagalelei or Lele or whatever it may be is no Trevor Lawrence. But Tony, swinging it to you, man. Gardner Minshew thinks Nick Sirianni brought him in because when they played horse in the pre-draft visit in the Indianapolis Colts room, he took his shirt off, showing his dedication. What do you think is the real reason that Nick Sirianni may have brought Gardner Minshew to Philly?
So I think Gardner Minshew is kind of trolling here. I don't think he's going to be – I don't think he meant what he said there. I think he's just kind of talking his ish. You know what I mean? I mean, if we're really going to talk about appearance, the reason he got traded to them was because of his mustache. So let's be real.
He actually cut it when he got traded.
I know.
It was weird. I was like, why did he do that? Philly,
know,
he was scared of Philly. He's like, I ain't getting beat up in Philly for this.
Yeah, I don't know. Not much else can be said. You guys kind of really said it all. So
I think that's just, I don't know. I feel like he needs to take his reasoning maybe elsewhere with that one. But this next one, gentlemen, I do want to go ahead and say this is big. This is really big. Tim Tebow on his next journey after football, after baseball, he is now up to debate Stephen A. Smith every Friday on First Take. Now, gentlemen, this guy played in, I don't know if it was the actual MLB or if it was the minor leagues or, what it was. It sounds like it was minor leagues, so he didn't really make it to the big leagues. Had a stint in NFL a couple years ago, and now this past year at tight end. And now he is off back on TV to debate not just anybody, one of the greats, in my opinion, Stephen A. Smith every Friday on First Take. Don't really know what's going on with Stephen A. and Max. On First Take, it doesn't look like one of them is going to continue on First Take, so it looks like a spot has opened up, which Tim Tebow is now going to take on Fridays to debate Stephen A. Smith on First Take. So, Jello, how are you feeling on this, man? Do you think Tim Tebow has a chance? Do you think he'll be great in this new business? What do you think?
Well, I mean, his knowledge of sports is definitely there. He is a true athlete in every sense of the word. But I don't like this decision. I'm not a big Stephen A. Smith fan either. When you really look at it, he speaks before he thinks, and that really doesn't fly overall for things he's said in the past. So I'm not the biggest fan of his. And you bring Tebow into the situation, and it's gonna be one of those things. The show's not gonna be about what they say. It's gonna be about who they are. Because you have Stephen A. Smith, who just pushes buttons and people keep track of that. Then you have Tim Tebow, which is everybody's favorite person at that point. But I think it's going to see a huge decline in viewership at that point, just off that fact. Because I mean, they're going to debate, but what are these debates really going to do? That's not Tim Tebow's thing. He's more calm talking, stay out of that kind of position. So I don't think it's going to go very well for him, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I think this is the one time I'm not going to eat my words. So it's going to be interesting, and I don't think it's going to be the most popular thing out there.
Loving it, man. Tony, swinging it to you because I know you have something to say on this one, man. How are you feeling about Tim Tebow to take on the position debating Stephen A. Smith on First Take every Friday?
I don't think that their personalities are going to collide very well. I really don't
think so either.
You have Stephen A. Smith, who is a high-tempo, yell in your face when he thinks you're wrong type of guy. And then you have Team Tebow, who's going to sit there and freaking pray when he's getting yelled at. So, I mean, I just don't see the personalities colliding. I don't see any good content from coming from it. Wow, I just had a stroke. I'm sorry. But I just think Stephen A. Smith is just going to clown Tim Tebow, and I really don't want to see Tim Tebow get clowned. I like Tim Tebow as a person. He was a Bronco, so I got to show him some love. But I don't know. Eric, what are you thinking about this?
Honestly, before I go ahead and answer, I want to go ahead and hit chat real quick because I know some people had something to say about this. So Football Silva, my man Angel, said the man can talk. I think it's a good fit, very well spoken, and sports savvy. Backstage, if you guys can pop up the next couple comments for me to read. The second comment that he went ahead and said has a good balance, hard ass, God's favorite quarterback. Bruh. Angel also said. So honestly, getting to me on how I feel about Tim Tebow to debate Stephen A. Smith. Tony, me and you don't really agree on a lot 100%, but I couldn't disagree with you not one bit. I do not think those personalities match up. To put it in an example, I think one of the nicest, you guys may call him one of the dumbest, but I think one of the nicest sports broadcasters that puts things in a nice way is Skip Bayless. I do think Skip Bayless is a very respectful guy. I don't think he's going to ever come at you and cuss you out like a Stephen A. Smith, like a Shannon Sharp. Those are the type of guys who are fiery. They will say what they have on their mind and they will not hold back. But Tim Tebow is not like that. Look, and I actually met Stephen A. We actually had, go ahead and show him the real one. Show him the real one.
Eric Bayless. Or what did Justin call it?
What'd you call it backstage, Justin?
It's Skip Bayless. That's what that is.
Scarrick Halis. Scarrick Halis, everybody.
Thanks. Scaricalus. You guys see it here first. But honestly, like I was saying, I honestly just don't see the personalities matching. Skip Bayless and Tim Tebow, I don't even think would match up like that. And I definitely don't think Stephen A. Smith and Tim Tebow are going to match up. I agree with Angel in chat that he is a good talker, but not against Stephen A. The Stephen A. is a type, like I said, he's aggressive with his sports talk where he will put you in that corner and make you fight your way out. So I don't know. I guess we're going to see how it's going to be. I'm excited to see how it's going to work on maybe the first couple Fridays just to kind of get a feel for it. But I don't think it'll last long.
You know who I want to see? I want to see Shannon and Stephen A.
I was thinking that when I was hearing you guys talk about personalities, I'm like, Shannon's fiery, Stephen A's fiery, and I feel like that is why they are not put together. That is why Stephen A. Smith picked Max. That is why Shannon picked Skip. Like, those two would never be like, I want to battle Shannon. Like, Stephen A. Smith would never look in the camera and be like, Shannon, please come on the show and just sit here with me for 2 hours. Like, I don't think that would be good. It would be hella interesting to watch, but I don't think that would be good at all. Before we go past, let me go ahead and pop the Scarrig Halis up one more time. Shout out to my boy Angel Cologne, Football Silva in chat today. He is our graphic designer for making these beautiful graphics. Beautiful. You put two beautiful faces together, you get one beautiful face. Man, but we're going to get to commercial. On the other side of commercial, we are going to continue at that NFL talk. Also, while hitting who's popping, who's dropping, Tony takes control, and we are going to dive into fantasy almighty. So stick around on the other side of these commercials, and let's get it popping. We'll be back in 2.
Gamers, podcasters, and
Gamers, podcasters.
All right.
And sports. So just go gamers, podcasters, and sports fans alike kind of thing. Something like that.
Gamers, podcasters, and sports fans all welcomed.
can't wait to see you there. All right.
Can't wait to see you there. All right. Well, one more test try. Ready? Everyone good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3, 2, 1. What up, everybody? This is your boy Eric, Tony, Jello, and Justin from the Rick T Podcast, and we all have something to say.
The Rick T Podcast is officially live this weekend.
And we can't wait to see you there.
Gamers, podcasters, sports fans are all like, we can't wait to see you. Fuck! Dude, you guys are laggy. Hold on.
Oh! Jesus is Lord. Yes. Come on. Be nice to me! Oh, bitch! Bitch, no! Bitch, no! Did I win? Woo! Woo! Let's go! Dub City, baby. I love you, yeah!
Kind of recovery steps look like.
So we have it's actually, dude, it's one of the bigger gyms in all of America. Crazy, it's in Lafayette. It's Red Laurel's Health Club. So Red was actually like Mr. Universe or something at one point in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
He started the gym here in Lafayette probably right after he won Mr. Universe. And over time it's just kind of grown. And dude, we have like, I want to say 3 or 4 pools. They got hot tubs, cold plunge, sauna, steam room, stuff like that. And they better cut me a deal for shouting them out right now. But it really is awesome. It's I mean, Dustin goes there. It's like a public gym. So if it doesn't really, think it's worth dealing with all the fans and the pictures and talking to people, it's definitely.
Yeah, bro. Definitely.
Dustin's also got a full sauna in his. He's got a private gym. And we also go to sometimes. It's got a sauna there too.
Questions. One of them is from chat, man. Our guy Tony Cave here is saying, what is the number one thing you think you could improve on?
I could definitely not get punched nearly as much as I do. Don't get hit.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude,
a little duck and dodge.
Dude, you might have to show me.
I got
Justin, hit it one more time. Hit it one more time for him.
There it is.
And this is from sitting, man, so they could get me up on the cage, back up against the cage here, Yeah, tell us, man, some up-and-coming guys out here in Colorado.
Dude, I got little T-Rex arms, so, like, for me to hit people, I got to get in there.
You got to get in their chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. My next question for you, bro. We just had that one from chat. My next question for you is specifically for people around the world that have been wondering this on Twitter, bro. I've been hearing the question and seeing the question over and over and over. Who is the guy with the mustache? Who is the guy with the mullet? Bro, at 21 years old, how did you end up with a mullet and a mustache like that, bro? And it's gold. I'm loving it. It's like I said, you're dripping swag, bro. But for the people around the world who want to know, bro, how did that become a thing?
Dude, it's my mom's actually a hairdresser. So, yeah, it's definitely in the blood, but I just kind of, I let it all go during quarantine. And I had like a massive fro. And I remember like once the barbershops opened back up, like my mom had a really condition, like it looked sick. It was long, flowing. But I went to my barber and I was like, dude, I can't train, like it's getting in my face, but I want to have long hair. And he was like, you want to have short hair and long hair? I was like, yeah. He's like, so a mullet? And I was like, yeah, dude.
Let's let it rock, bro. Let's let it rock.
Right now that you would compare yourself to, maybe fighting style or different things like that. Is there any fighters you really compare yourself to right now?
Dude, there's a guy I really like to watch. I started watching him just because of his haircut, but then I realized he's kind of a short, wider bantamweight, Ricky Simone. Okay. Ricky Simone a lot. He's got a sick mullet, and he gets down. I like Volk a lot, just because I like all the shorter, wider guys, because that's how I'm built. So I think Volkanovski's definitely one. Dude, TJ in his last fight, just to see how he dug deep and kind of, like I said, I like to take one to give one, and TJ definitely took a fuck ton in that last fight.
Like he gave up his eye, bro. Dude, he gave up his whole eye for that one.
I like TJ a lot, despite whatever he did, the cheating and all that. Really, just anybody under like 5'8". That's my thing.
One more question before we bounce out of here, man. Matthew Faraci in the chat said, what's that flag on your wall?
That's the Lafayette flag, baby.
Hey,
Lafayette. He said, represent, throwing it up.
Yes, sir. Hey, all those people that claiming whatever, and, Nate Diaz, all those guys that got their shit. Bro, Lafayette's got more UFC fighters than any other city, probably in the world. Man, Daniel Cormier had 2 belts. Dustin Poirier had the interim belt, all at the same time. 3 belts in one city.
Three belts in one city. He said represent in Louisiana. And we are back with the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. I am your boy, Eric Holmes, host of the Rick T Podcast and the Talk Your Talk Show. As I say, as always, you can follow me below on Twitter at RickT_E. Let's get the fellas back up here. Fort Collins, Littleton, Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, let's get back into it, man. The Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. Thank you guys all for staying through those commercials, man. Welcome back. Let's get it, man. So this next topic I'm excited to talk about. I thought it was interesting, and I think everyone does. So we waited 3 months for the Donda album, Tony, Jello. We waited a long time for Donda. It finally dropped. We had our opinions on it last Wednesday on the Talk Your Talk show. Now Certified Lover Boy has dropped. You guys see our picture here. Shout out to Certified Lover Boy. Shout out to Drake. But now it's time to get opinions on the album. I want to hear opinions from you, Tony. Jello, not too sure if you've listened to the album, but if you have, let me know your opinions. Justin, backstage, if you have opinions, please pop up in here. And everybody in chat, every single person in chat, please drop a 1 through 10 rating on what you think of Certified Lover Boy. Not Donda. We're not talking Donda here. We're talking Certified Lover Boy. So drop in chat what you think, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Tony, we'll swing it to you first. How are you feeling on Drake's album, Certified Lover Boy?
You know, I was looking for that one song that was supposed to be the song to finish out the summer. The song of the year, you know what I mean? This is supposed to be album of the year. I didn't find that song. However, I really, really like the vibe of this album. It's still a competitor for album of the year. I just didn't find the song of the year in the album. I agree with Angel in chat. Justin, can you pull that up for me real quick? The very last comment, the rating. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8.5 out of 10. And if you guys watched the episode where we rated Donda, I rated Donda a 7 out of 10. So CLB, definitely a little bit better than Donda. Depends on what kind of mood you're in, though. But Drake definitely took this war.
So Angel's giving it an 8.5 out of 10, which I think he gave Donda like a 2. He's also saying no contest album of the year so far. I don't know where I missed then. I don't know, because I am a Drake fan. I'm also a Kanye supporter. I do like his music, but I truly feel that Certified Lover Boy was not a Donda. Honestly, I listened to the first song on Donda and was bumping my head. I think I got through 6 songs through Certified Lover Boy before I was like, okay, this is kind of a banger. I truly was sitting there listening for 6 songs, Tony, and everybody in chat. 6 songs before I heard a decent song, in my opinion. I do like Drake. I do like what he does with it, but I don't know. Maybe it's the vibe. I don't know. We said on Wednesday that Donda was just a vibe. You know what I mean? He had stuff in his music that people just couldn't resist bobbing their head to, which I feel like I just didn't hear in Drake's. I definitely think he has some bangers in there, but it took me a while to find them.
You didn't like Girls Want Girls or In the Bible. That's song 3 and 4.
So no, I didn't like them. I'll tell you, the first song that I caught interesting on the album was TCU or TSU. TSU caught my attention, and then after that, it was like No Friends in the Industry, 7 a.m. on Bridal Path.
Knife Talk goes
you
crazy.
Like Knife Talk?
Knife Talk goes crazy. 21's back.
Oh, okay, with 21, that one was okay. Knife Talk with 21 Savage was all right. That one was all right. Back. Okay, let me turn it off. I was just fooling you. I'm not getting copyrighted for Drake. I'm not. He probably has people watching this podcast right now. Like, if they play anything on our album, you sue the shit out of them. I want them to be sleeping on cardboard boxes. I don't want them to have nothing left. So I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6 out of 10. I think I gave Donda an 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. I honestly give it a 6
reversed basically on these albums.
I'm not saying it's bad. I feel like there's been better Drake albums. I feel like, so it's hard to compare Drake in a lot of people's books, and I am one of those a lot of people, because I have him on such high standards. Like, I kind of have his music and everything on a pedestal. So when I feel like he doesn't outdo himself, it kind of like disappoints me. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to outdo greatness. He's had greatness for how long now? He's been, artist of the decade. So it's hard to keep overdoing that. But I feel like that's the expectations for a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a Tom Brady situation. Like, how do you beat 7 rings? The only way to beat 7 rings is 8. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Drake didn't hit that 8th ring for me. I don't know.
Fair. That's fair.
Joe, you definitely got to listen to it, bro.
Well,
you and I are just kind of reversed.
I was going to throw some input on this. So, I've heard some bits and pieces and stuff like that. But, the biggest thing you have to think here, especially with Drake's album, is, the hype and the build-up. for months and months. And, this was supposed to be, a smash hit. But, I think that if they're more reminiscent to, what they were, I know the music industry and stuff like that, but, I like the Drake back actually when he worked with Kanye on Forever, when you look at Wayne and, M on that track as well. The songs like that really, when we were, middle school, high school, that's what really attracted us, to that, when Drake first started popping off, after Degrassi, stuff like that. And Kanye we've had since we were, tiny kids at that point. But I think there's so much hype behind it where it didn't live up to what the hype was supposed to be. You know what I mean? This was supposed to come out and just, shatter records and sales. And
it did. It definitely did, but weirdly.
So it's bad whatsoever. It's just, it's one of those things where it's repetition. And when you look at music, I mean, like, not necessarily like, the change is a good thing, but there's some things that, are so repetitive, i.e. beats and stuff like that, where certain artists kind of drown themselves out using a same style beat, or, they're, with how they are with their cadence, so on and so forth. I think and other artists onto there can, even drown out that fact even more.
Hang on. I want to add to that. So Angel in chat says, bro, there have been better albums, but tell me Kanye didn't have a better album than Donda. And so here's my argument here is Drake gets better and better every year. Okay. Kanye's best album is still Graduation. Tell me I'm wrong.
So you're not wrong, but like I just said, I don't feel like, it's kind of contradicting what I'm saying, because I do agree with Angel. I do think there's better albums that Kanye has came out with, but I feel like the comparison is different because I don't look at Kanye as a 10 out of 10. I maybe look at him as a 7 out of 10, to where I look at Drake as an 11 out of 10. So every time I hear Drake, I expect to hear an 11 out of 10. To where I hear Kanye, I expect to kind of hear somewhere around that 7, 8. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I consistently get that from Kanye. He doesn't ever hit the 10 mark, but he hits that 7, 8 very consecutively. But I feel like Drake, expecting him to be a 10 or 11 every single time, when sometimes he's putting out 6s or 7s, it hurts. You know what I mean? And like I'll go ahead and say it again. I don't think this album is bad. I do think it's a good album. I just don't know personally how it shattered the Apple Music record and shattered all these numbers. I don't understand how it did that.
So I understand what you're saying here. But I think what happened here is that you fell into the Kanye hype, and you kind of knew in the back of your head he was going to have those church vocals and those sounds that you're looking for to hear.
Yeah. And
then out of Drake, you expected, like I said, Song of the Year. You expected God's Plan all over again. You expected some crazy shit. You expected a full-out banger. But what you got was the lovey side of Drake.
The old Drake. Yeah, we got the old Drake. We didn't get we got heartbroken Drake. We didn't get I got mad bitches on my side. We didn't get that Drake. We got low-key the heart, and I won't go ahead and say the whole album is just heartbreak, because there are, like I said, no friends in the industry. I feel like he was coming at least 4 or 5 rappers in that one song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do feel like that was a banger. I feel like what's it called? 7 a.m. on Bridal Path or whatever. I feel like that's a banger. I do think he went crazy in that. And I do think Knife Talk with 21 thought that was a banger. But none of them were an 11 to me.
No, that's fair. And to be honest with you, 21 carried Knife Talk. So if we're going to be real, if we're going to say something negative towards Drake, 21
let's get out of the Drake hype. A lot of people have carried Drake on multiple albums in the past, including this one he just put out. Like you just said, 21 carried. I've seen who was it? Little Baby carried Drake in his last hot single.
Which one are you talking about?
Oh, dude. I don't know which song. I don't know exactly the song name, but Little Baby carried him. If someone knows that song name in chat, please go ahead and throw it in there. I promise you, Little Baby carried him. I've seen TikToks, a million of them, but let's get off the music.
Right,
so I do like Certified Lover Boy.
Hi, I'm Deadly 420 in chat. What's good, boys? Dropping in Seaton. What's up?
Yeah, whoa.
Insane.
Dropping in saying what's up? What's up? Hi, I'm Deadly 420. Wants and needs.
That's it. That's the song. All right.
Wants and needs.
Y'all want a UCLA update?
Yeah, please.
UCLA just intercepted the ball at the start of the half. They're driving. They're down to the. Hang on one second. They're down within inside the 10-yard line. They're about to score. They're up 14-10 right now, and they're about to score again.
Clemson update. Georgia versus Clemson, ranked 5 versus ranked 3. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Clemson has the ball on the 50-yard line, and they are down 10-7. So this one is coming down to the wire. Yeah, this one is coming down to the wire, and this is a top 5 matchup, ranked 5 versus ranked 3. So whoever wins this one, someone will most likely fall out of the top, I would say 7 or 8. Considering ranked 10 lost yesterday, one of the top 5 is going to go today. There's a lot happening. You know what I'm saying? And not to say there won't be more top 10 or top 5 that drop next week or the week after that, or, so I think it'll be interesting, but it was an update. Another college football fact that I do want to say, Oregon had a close game against Fresno State today, but a lot of people, I don't want to go ahead and shit on Oregon, because let me show you this. Top career rushing duos via the active college football players. So at 1, it's obviously Oregon with CJ Verdell and Travis Dye. We have 4,300 yards between the both of them since they've been here. Second is Fresno State with Ronnie Rivers and Jordan Mims. Let me go ahead and give Fresno State credit. I was going ahead saying Fresno State, bro, they might as well be an NAIA school. I literally said that on the show. It's on recording that I said that. It was embarrassing. I was sitting back to there thinking today when we're tied 21-21 going into the fourth quarter, I'm like, why did I say that? These guys are good. And then I looked into the facts. Fresno State has the second leading rushers via the active college football players, right behind Oregon. Like I said, CJ Verdell and Travis Dye, and then Ronnie Rivers and Jordan Mims with 3,900 rushing yards between the two. So
hang on one second. I want to point something out real quick, and I don't want you to think that I'm coming after you.
Please do.
But every time you dog a team during the game,
my team ends up playing shit. And my team ends up playing shit.
Yes. So you were dogging Fresno State before the game. Ended up being a close game. Oregon pulled it out. You were also dogging on Ohio State, who ended up winning by more than 14, and I won money off of that. Okay? So and you were also dogging on, who was it? Oklahoma today. You were also dogging on Oklahoma today, and right when you said their offense isn't doing shit, they busted a 27-yard touchdown run. So, I mean...
So I have a theory.
Okay.
And this is my fantasy football theory. I won't ever talk shit to somebody. If I'm up by like 5 with 1 player left in fantasy football left, I will let that game finish because I don't want karma to, strike me in my ass like Forrest Gump got shot in the movie Forrest Gump. But honestly, I need to go ahead and take that and put it into my NFL or college football talk knowledge, and I need to stop talking shit before the game is over.
Facts. Yeah, let's give a shout out to this dude real quick, and then we'll let Jello talk.
Gotta go.
What up, fellas? Gonna have to watch the replay at the Rockies game. Working, just wanted to show some love. My guy Matt Faraci showing up to the Rick T podcast in Coors Field. That's real love.
Yes, sir.
I need to get you some like Rick T podcast stickers to just like go around and stick on the back of the chairs to where they can't get them off. So people are like, who is the Rick T pod? And they look it up and it's like us, like live. Hey, you know what I'm saying? It'd be weird, but it'd be clutch. But yeah, shout out to you, Matt Faraci. J6, little J6 says, don't dog on the Eric or on
UCLA
Eric.
Touchdown, baby. Let's
go. We need a music talk segment. Talk all the shit you want. Jigga Man Porto here on the Rick T podcast. Appreciate you for tuning in, my brother. Shout out to everybody watching. Jello, did you have something to say?
I just like to point this out since we're on this topic. Me and Eric were going up against each other in fantasy last year, and he started talking crap, about a little Tyler Lockett who ended up scoring over 50 points.
I remember that.
So I just had to keep pointing this out because it happened.
Okay, since you want to point that out, I want to point this out. I was also playing Jello last year when it really mattered, and I ended up winning by less than a point because I put defensive players in our league.
Yep. 3 of them. They scared me.
Yeah, last year I had like a D lineman, a linebacker, and a DB. This year is just one consecutive defensive player. That's going to either win for you or lose for you, but... Hey, I'm really high on Myles Garrett. Let's just go ahead and say that, man. Moving on to the next topic we have, and I'm super excited. It's been a couple weeks since we've done this one, but it is time to bring it back. So, Jello, my boy Jello, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Who's popping, who's dropping with your boy Jello Rex Road. He's got a list for us today on who's popping and who's dropping in his book. Jello.
All right, let's do it.
Let us know.
All right. So starting off, who's popping? We got the Mac Jones taking that starting spot from Cam Newton and letting him drop off to Cowboys, wherever the hell he's going to go next. So shout out to Mac Jones being another Alabama quarterback coming out here, second year in a row where they're coming out and taking these starting spots. So this is the perfect man for Belichick to use in this offense. And, sticking around with the Patriots for the second one, Sony Michel going to the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is a great thing, and I think this is a career booster for Sony Michel after being drafted in 2018. With Brady, they weren't a big rushing team. Never have, never were with Tom Brady at that point. Same thing goes for the Bucs. So he's going to a Rams team where Sean McVay loves to use that, use those rushers. And so it's him and Darrell Henderson. So I think he comes up and he really takes the spot and just really, really, really just takes it to the house with this one. So
Jello, go ahead and address that real quick.
Jello and Tony suck at fantasy football.
Yeah, what's funny though? At the draft party last year, DeLon and Jalen were hyping, saying I was so bomb at fantasy football. I think that's the funny part.
Jalen was cheating last year in fantasy football, but let's not talk about that.
Right. All right, let's move on to the third one. I'm going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I give them a lot of crap, but I have to give them, a shout out here. Every coach, staff member, and player are now vaccinated for COVID-19. I know people have their beliefs, but I think this is a very good thing for this team, just when you look at the fact that they have no worries about having to drop games because, this or that. So the entire team was able to do it, really came together, really, once again, they brought all the starters back. This team is a real team. They've come together. They've done it. They're the second or third team to do so. So it's looking good.
I got something I want to say on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. We talked earlier about it, and I said, why do you have them on there? Tony said they returned all the starters. That could be a reason. You're talking about the vaccination rate, which I like. One more thing I do want to put in there. Today, or this is 2 days ago, Mike Evans restructured his contract to create $8.9 million in cap space for practice squad and injured reserve players.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why they're on Who's Popping. So continue on. Sorry about that.
Right, and absolutely. And that's a great thing because it just shows he's like, I made the money I have. So let's make money for the guys who are really working for this at this point. So, and this takes me in. Jason's going to be happy with this one. I'm going Michael Strahan this week after the announcement of the New York Giants retiring his number 42. Well-deserved. So let's just read off some accolades real quick. All right. Super Bowl champ, number 1, against Tom Brady. We'll start that one off. NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2001, recording a record 22 and a half sacks at that point. You got four-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time sack leader. In the 2000s All-Decade team. He's in the 100-sack club. Finished out his career with 854 tackles, 141 and a half sacks, 4 interceptions, and 24 forced fumbles. So got to give a big shout out to Strahan. Love the man. He's a great host. He's a great football player. He's a great man.
Facts.
So, got to give that man the shout out what he deserves. And now, moving into the best category. Who's dropping this week with Jello? We're starting off easy. Cam Newton. Man is dropping. He came in the league last year. I was his biggest hater. And I ended up being correct towards the end of the year, with the TD to interception ratio at that point and their record, what they did, so on and so forth. Now he's looking to move into being Dak Prescott's second string quarterback. I mean, we'll see how that goes, but he's definitely dropping. I mean, look at this way.
So we just signed Will Greer, Carolina's backup. So
wait, let's put it this way. They're like, let's get rid of Cam Newton. He might go to the Cowboys, and we'll take Garrett Gilbert and put him on our practice squad. Same with Hoyer. Jarrett Stidham still has a position on the 53-man roster there, and Cam Newton doesn't. So I'm just throwing that one out there. This is my thing. I love Cam Newton as a player. He was good, but now he talks too much and he can't back it up. And that's where we're at. So he lost his starting position, threw a fit. They let him go. So he's definitely dropping this week, and he won't be a starter in the NFL in 2021 right now. So, and moving on to the second one, Gardner Minshew. Once again, nothing really against Minshew at that point. He's just on the Eagles. And they're taking this quarterback. So they have 3 quarterbacks in rotations. I think it's a whopping 6 or 7 teams kept 3 quarterbacks on their active roster. You have Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew, Joe Flacco. Once again, they brought him in because it's Joe Flacco at that point. So I think the biggest thing here is it's a drop in his career from where he was. I think, Jacksonville really knew what to do with him, and it showed in his rookie year, maybe not so much his second year. A lot of that had to do with line defense, so on and so forth, and Nick Foles. Wherever Nick Foles goes, it's a tragedy outside of 1 year. So, but I think this is a drop for Minshew. I was hoping he could get to a better team with a good veteran quarterback. Once again, I don't trust the front office. I do like Jalen Hurts. I like Devonta Smith. But what will Minshew do this year? Probably nothing. Maybe some garbage time minutes, so on and so forth. But I don't like the decision making. They have a first-year coach right now, so we'll see what they do with that. And now moving into the third one, it's about them Bills. We talk about the Bears. It's about them Bills. It's Cole Beasley. All right. We're not going to talk about this vaccine talk. The numbers are just here really quick. So it's $14,650 per violation. Did the math. If you take 3 practices, 1 game a week for the entire year, it's a minimum of $1,040,150. Might not be big to an NFL player at that point, but you just have to look at how many fines that is across the season. How many times you couldn't just put on a mask for the $1 million you make, kind of thing. So he's definitely on who's dropping. This man cries more than my 2-year-old at that point. So
Woo!
I mean, it's just crazy. It's just it's one of those things where it's just like, I get it. You have your opinion. I'm with you. Absolutely, you have your opinion. But at this point, it's just like when it's something as easy as just the mask and stuff like that, where his own teammates are coming out and saying stuff at that point, I have to put him on who's dropping because I think it's really going to drop off his playing time this year. Or is he going to be with the team this year? Is he going to put his team at risk of losing games? Because you look at a Buffalo team that's got the number 2 rated quarterback right now, who is that playoff team in the AFC Championship last year, who could go this far. But what about Cole Beasley making them lose 2 games, per se? Even 1 game. What if that takes him out of contention, puts him in a wild card, or drops him out of this game or that game? So I think that's really where he's dropping, because he's hurting his team along with it. NFL rules might be a little strict. Sure, I get it. Once again, it's your opinion. I believe you to have your opinion. That's your right. But he's affecting so many other players and what they can do with their careers off the sheer fact that who knows what games could be lost because of situations like this. The fines might not be big, but that's a minimum fine of over $1 million. They could tack on, you're walking through a hallway and the NFL decides that that's what you're going to get docked for. That's just practices and games. So we'll see what they do there. But that's what's popping, what's dropping. Just like my chair. Let's do this. That chair thing was by accident. That my ankle bumped that, and that was not on purpose.
I'm weak. Who's popping? Who's dropping? Just like my chair.
Dude, my foot bumped it. I was like, we'll talk about it. We're going down. So
That was damn hilarious, man. Great job on who's popping, who's dropping, Jello. Before we get on to Tony Takes Control, I do want to bring up a kind of a competition we're having. So right now, we're at a pretty good amount of viewers, but we want to know where they're coming from, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. So drop in the chat where you're watching them from. We have a competition right now going, who's watching from Twitch and people watching the Rick T podcast from Facebook. Shout out to you, Angel Cologne, for it. But who do you guys think is winning? Go ahead and drop where your guys watching the Rick T podcast from, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I don't know. Drop it where you guys are dropping, and let's go ahead and see who's watching from where. We want to know who's dropping from where. The Real OG 99. What's up, my boy? Thank you for tuning in to the Rick T Podcast Season 2, Episode 19. Tony, are you ready now, man? It's your time, man. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? Are you?
Let's do it.
Tony Takes Control with your boy, Tony Cave.
All right, chat. So first things first, I don't ever really get my opportunity to thank you guys for tuning in. So big shout out to everybody, Jigga Man Porto and your squad, to everybody that's been here since day one, the real OG 99, everybody that's in chat right now, and anybody that couldn't make it tonight. I really appreciate all of you. There's some big things coming our way as a platform and a podcast, so just want to show some love to all of you guys. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the next thing, let's get right into it. So I probably should have been on Who's Dropping tonight because some of my bets did not hit. Right now, let me check the score to the Dodgers game. 3-1. So that one's hitting. So I had the Dodgers plus 100 to win by 2. Right now, they're winning by 2. So that one looks good. Then I had the under 66 for Utah State and Washington State, the under 54 for BYU and Arizona, and the under 50.5 for New Mexico State and San Diego State. I'll need to follow up with that one. Check my Twitter later, and I'll have the results of that bet.
Most of.
Then I had the Los Angeles Angels and I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. I had the Dodgers and New Mexico State, and then I also placed another bet today for the Indiana and Iowa game. That's why I should be on Who's Dropping. I took Indiana in that game.
Oh,
yeah. So I went with the higher seed, and that came back to bite me. So I'm not perfect. Like I said, take my bets as a viewer discretion, I guess. Sometimes I get lucky. Sometimes I don't. Today we were dropping.
So today on Who's Poppin', Who's Dropping, Tony, honestly, I know you think you didn't do well, but let's give this guy a round of applause, everybody. This guy did a great job. He's got his bets up there. He's going to make you some money. He's also going to make himself some money. Tony, you may be on a down, but I know you're going to come back up like Jello's chair. You know? Like Jello's chair. Oh, God, man. We got one more topic before we get to a quick commercial, man.
Hang on one second.
Oh, please do. Sorry.
You're saying I might be on Who's Poppin' next week?
Who's popping like Tony's beer? You might be on Who's Popping, Who's Dropping. I don't know. Depends on how prepared you are. We'll see. But right now, we're going to swing it in to the Rick T Podcast poll of the week as we do every week on Twitter. Oh, Georgia just won 10-3 against Clemson.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Rank 5 takes down rank 3.
Oh, shit.
Goodbye.
These guys were in the Final Four last year. You lose 2 games, you're out of the Final Four, and they just lost 1 in week 1. This week's Twitter poll of the week, as we do every week from the Rick T Podcast Twitter, at TRickT, at the letter T, and then spelled out Rick, and then TEA. We need to change that, but yeah, at TRickT. Went ahead and threw out a poll, and the poll was, which running back pair is the best duo in the NFL currently? And we just talked about which duo was the best in college, but now we're talking about which duo is the best in NFL currently. The choices out of 4 people or 4 different teams were: number 1, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So if you guys think it's them, go ahead and put 1 in the chat. Number 2, Drake and Josh Jacobs.
Nope.
That was number 2. If you think it's them, go ahead and put number 2. Number 3, Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor.
Nope.
And at 4, we have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. The winner of that, 55 votes in, I believe it's 12 hours. 60% of the people who voted for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, which I am one of those people. I actually think Jello's going ahead, throwing his hand up. He had to have been one of those people. Tony, who are you voting for out of those?
Not Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
You're voting for either Drake and Josh, Marlon and John, or Aaron and AJ?
Yeah. I think I was working, and so I just clicked one, and then I looked at it later, and you know how you can't change the vote? So I don't want to disclose.
You're like, I guess I'm the 4%.
I think you're right.
I forgot. Was this poll for last year or this upcoming year?
This upcoming year.
Okay, I was about to say, because I was just like,
actually, I guess you can base that however you want. The question specifically is, which running back pair is the best duo in the NFL currently? So I guess you can say
my roommate
last year. No, what?
That's Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I mean, there's nothing else about it. So
Yes, sir. Big Blue Jay. Yes, sir. Thanks for noticing.
UCA.
We're up by 6 right now.
UCLA holding it down against LSU. Best running back core is New Orleans. Here we go.
it's just Kamara.
All right, I quit.
Literally, back from last-
Latavius Murray is garbage. He's probably a free agent in fantasy in every league he's in.
Best running backs in the league, but it's just him. That's it. It's not a duo. It's a do it all by myself.
But like I told you guys, 60% of people voted for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. 20% of people voted for Drake and Josh Jacobs. 16% of people voted for Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor. And only 4% of Tony voted for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. It had to have been you. If you just clicked in, there's one with 4. It had to have been you.
Bro, I'm sorry. I really tried. I was like working, trying to sell internet, and I just clicked one. I'm sorry.
All right, here. I actually, just to back up Jay really quick, there could be a, duo in New Orleans. It's going to be Kamara leading the way and Jameis Winston running the wrong way of, from all the defensive players. So it doesn't mean that, they rushed a lot. Winston does it in the opposite way. Kamara does it in the right way. There we go, to appease that situation. So
we got a Ronald Jones and Fournette here. And to answer your question, Angel, it's definitely me. I got the cricket in here somewhere. I can't find it. I can't find it. It's annoying me too. It's getting in my ear, and I'm just like,
it's a peaceful summer night of talking sports. Okay,
it sounds like I'm doing the goddamn podcast from my campsite.
You live in Colorado, bro. Crickets are everywhere. Stop.
I live in Manhattan. What are you talking about?
Eric's like, I'm going to make some Cowboys comments, and there's just a cricket in the back just so no one's listening.
My boy C-Dog 1869 is saying we need to put some respect on Indy's running backs. And I won't go ahead and say I agree, but I have Jonathan Taylor on my fantasy team. So
once again, though, but let's look at it this way. Jonathan Taylor, it's just going to be him. Marlon Mack's coming back from a second big injury. So it's not a duo. It's just going to be Jonathan Taylor, which is why he's ranked so high in the great running back he is.
We got Nyheim Hines still, I think, right? The Colts.
Well, they do have Hines, yes, but, it's not really going to be a duo. It's really going to be Jonathan Taylor. I mean, if you combine them, it'll look good, but it's mostly going to be Jonathan Taylor.
I did hear that Jonathan Taylor's supposed to have a fantastic year. I don't know if we're going to talk much about our personal fantasy teams, but that was a great pick.
I agree. I do. He get every running back in Indianapolis is going to get a lot of touch. Not only being that's more of a running team, but now Carson Wentz going through all of his foot shit. Like, can you sit there and say I'm going to go ahead and drop back 30, 40 times a game with Carson Wentz on a broken foot?
Don't forget about the big boys.
And let's not
about the big boys up front.
And Quentin Nelson is hurt too. I think he's coming back off the same injury.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be interesting to see how they both kind of bounce back. But I do think that's going to be a running team this year for sure.
Facts.
I honestly do. Ooh. Okay. Sorry, I was
Big Blue Jay says in chat, can't have a good duo without a mid O-line. Just like I just said, Big Blue Jay and I are on terms tonight.
So Tom Brady went ahead and explained why he thinks football is deteriorating in 2021. So I don't have the video on screen, but I do have the audio here on my phone. I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you guys and see what you guys think of it. So let me know if you can hear this. Give me 1 second.
Changed over the years, which I think is really
who's played a long time to watch is like it's not being taught the right way. Like a quarterback should only throw the ball to certain places because your receiver is in danger of getting hit. For example, when I used to play against Ray Lewis, I wouldn't throw the ball to the middle of the field because he'd go after you and he would hit and we didn't always have the biggest receivers, but he would hit him and knock him out of the game. And now every hard hit is a penalty on the defense. So I feel like they penalize defensive players for offensive mistakes. So like if a quarterback, I was watching the Chicago Bear game, the quarterback messes up, doesn't see the blitzer, or the line screws up. I don't know what happened. The quarterback or the line on offense, the defensive player comes in and hits him hard, and they throw a flag on the defense. So they've almost moved the protection of your opponent to you, as opposed to where it should be, which is on yourself. Like if you're a quarterback, you got to protect yourself and your players. it shouldn't be the responsibility of your opponent to protect you. And I think that's a real, it creates really bad habits for players because you feel like I can basically do anything. I could run and not slide. I could throw my receiver into any coverage and not have any repercussion for it. The only thing they're going to do is they're actually going to blame the defensive player for making a good, solid hit. And now the defensive player is going to feel like, oh, I can't do that, even though I feel like it was an offensive mistake. So in the end, I think it's a really disservice to the sport because the sport isn't being played at a high level like I believe that it once was. It's actually deteriorates because you're not teaching the players the reasons and the fundamentals of what the sport should be.
Right. And I feel like Levante just
Jordan Love.
You guys heard it there. Yes, I get it. The cricket is loud. What do you want me to do? Find it? I can't find it.
Here, hang on. Mute your mic. Stand up and go clap around the area you're in right now. It'll shut up.
I'm gonna leave the goddamn mic on so you guys can know that I'm for real. Give me a sec.
All right. So in the meantime, let's get caught up on chat.
Watch, there's gonna be multiple. Get him.
Fuck off.
La 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 la.
And we are back from commercial break with the Rick T podcast. Here are your hosts, Tony, Jello, and Eric.
And the two crickets.
Yeah, it's one, but hey, it sounds like 7. The guy's loud. I clapped. I did what you wanted me to do. I couldn't find it.
You got here just like just clapping. I'm dying right now.
I'm honestly I really am sorry about this, guys. It's not like I was like, yo, I invite you to the show, cricket. Please pull up.
Hold on. What did I say, Jay?
What did you say?
Bro, I haven't said nothing.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the cricket. I don't know what's going on with what you said. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Tom Brady, you guys heard him say why he thinks football is deteriorating. Tony, we'll start with you. He's basically saying offensive players are kind of using the rules to their advantage, saying that, quarterbacks can't get hit, or if an offensive player gets hit super hard, they know it's going to be a foul or a penalty. But Tom Brady is saying it should go back to the old ways where players have to protect themselves and not where the safety has to protect a receiver crossing the middle. Like, that's not the safety's job. The safety's job is to knock him the hell out. But now in today's age, these safeties are kind of the ones that have to protect these guys running across the field or protect these quarterbacks when they go for a sack or something like that. And it doesn't end up being on the offensive player. So Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, sat there on a show and said, defensive players are kind of getting gypped. Offensive players are using it to advantage. So Tony, how are you feeling on everything that Tom Brady just said, man?
Tom Brady's just an old head. He just plays football and knows football just the old school way. You don't leave your receivers out to dry. You don't do this. You don't do that. And now defenses are being penalized for quarterbacks doing just that. When we were growing up, we grew up with the old school rules. You don't leave your wide receivers out to dry. You just don't do that. And now you see a lot of that in the NFL. You see a lot of squeezing the ball into a tight area right over the middle of the field. So he's just an old head, and he's not adapting to the new rules, I guess, and he doesn't like it. I mean, he's adapting. He's Tom Brady, but he just doesn't like the way that it's going down.
Jello, what are you thinking on, man?
All right. I mean, speaking of leaving him out to dry, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if it was Philip Dorsett or who it was, but in the Super Bowl, he let a receiver out to dry and got him knocked out. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I think at this point, when you think about it, I think he was making more comments towards refs than anything without saying it. So, he doesn't get fined at that point, has been suspended because of, refs' decisions at that point. So I think he was saying something without actually saying something. I think it was more towards the refs, like, all right, so because they made the mistake, you're calling the foul on them. So I think that's why he says it's dying, is the sheer fact of the referees in this game at this point are what is ruining football without saying it, because you're getting a lot of trouble for doing that. So I think that's kind of what he was getting at, which you can agree with a lot of statements. Jay can be the biggest one as a Saints fan. That missed call, just how much it costs a team when they make mistakes. So
check chat. We got the name of the guy that got left out to dry.
Brandon Cooks.
Thank you.
I don't know. So honestly, My opinion, I don't think Tom Brady said anything incorrect. I know Tony thinks he's an old head. Oh, XX Gold Glover 1XX. Shout out to you, my boy, new viewer. Shout out to you, my boy, new viewer. Let's go ahead and play the new viewer chant for you one time.
That sound is brought to you by the cricket that's making a one-time appearance on the show.
It is. Give me 1 second. I don't know. I thought Tom Brady was 100% right though, honestly.
I mean, he is. He's not wrong. Like I said, I think he's an old head. He was raised to not leave your dudes out to dry because he's gonna get knocked out by someone like John Lynch, Ed Reed. All these guys were in the league during Tom Brady's prime. You know what I mean? So I think Tom Brady's just an old head, and that's how he was raised to play football, and he doesn't like the adjustments that are being made. He doesn't like the defensive rules.
I love football shows. I do one myself. I can see it right there in your profile picture that obviously you're a hyped ass cheesehead. Huh? You're a hyped ass cheesehead, man. So I'm excited to get some more Packers fans on here. We would definitely throw you a follow from the Rick T podcast. Thank you for following us and kind of tuning into the show and seeing what you like and what you don't like. But shout out to my boy Golds Glover, new fan here on the Rick T podcast. Angel, he's saying, I don't know. I think Tom, of all people, should understand what CTE is seeing as one of his best receivers, And see, I feel like that's a great way to put it, but I still don't feel like he's saying anything wrong. And it might be just the generational change of the game of football. But I truly do feel like, and it kind of comes to what you're saying too, Jello. These refs are kind of really screwing things up. And I don't know if it's the refs or just the new rules in football and what they're being taught. But you really can't hit an offensive player hard without it being a foul, without it being a flag. And especially in college, you can't hit someone any bit of hard without it being a targeting and you getting kicked out and being suspended for 2 games. So I don't know. I feel like football is kind of being desensitized to the fact that it is a contact sport. But then again, you have to go ahead and bring it into clarification. Like what Angel said, CTE is a real thing, man. We've seen it in players who have committed suicide. We've seen it in players who are still alive to this day who have played NFL football or any contact sport. You know what I'm saying? So
I think he's directly talking about Aaron Hernandez.
No, that's exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, people who have committed suicide or died, you've heard it, and they've ran tests of Junior Seau or Aaron Hernandez, and they've both had CTE, major things of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and
it's a scary thing because you can't test while someone's alive. You have to wait until they pass.
Well, and there's work on that, but I think the biggest thing is, they definitely have rule changes. There's 2 different aspects to it. Where this is so big on the defensive side of things. It's kind of like that one person ruined it for everybody. So the big one where, it wasn't anything bad he did, but it affected him is Ryan Shazier. His head was down. He didn't have his eyes up. And the way he collided on that tackle, not a dirty hit. But, ended up making him have to retire after a 5-year career at that point. So you look at that side. But I think the big side here that you have to look at where it could disagree with what Brady's saying is you have to look at someone like Vontaze Burfict. What was it, 12, 13 instances of hitting someone in the helmet, stuff like that. Something that, became so overpowering throughout the years at this point to where, you go back to the 80s and players died on the field from these, helmet to helmet. They worked on helmets, so on and so forth. So you look at the ones where player safety, absolutely. But when you look at the dirty hits throughout the years, it's something that definitely brought it up. So brought in the new rule changes, which is where it's a lot easier, on those hits to, get called for this or that, due to facts that, those few people ruined it for the rest of them at that point. So, and that's the thing. It's just like, if those players were never there, who knows how it would be right now. But, some of those people just want to ruin it for you. There's a lot of people that just want to play football and they want to play it the right way. And there's a lot of headhunters. And those headhunters, you always remember the bad more than the good. The good is always better in your heart, but the bad stays with you because of the memories from it.
Well, let's talk about the good headhunters. Let's talk about John Lynch. Let's talk about Ed Reed. Let's talk about Ray Lewis. Let's talk about all these hard-hitting guys that do it in a good, safe way, but still get their point across. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like Jay said in chat, it's part of the game. Since you were 7 years old, when you started playing tackle football, you signed that waiver. Not you know what I mean? Your parents signed that waiver when you're 7 years old. Someone signs a waiver on your behalf that lets you go out there and get your ish rocked.
So C-Dog in the chat is saying, I think NFL players know the risks, but still take it. And at that point, they sign themselves up for the consequences. I agree with protecting people, but I think the game is going soft. So I'm not saying I disagree or agree with that comment, but that, like in my head, when I was reading that, I'm putting it into perspective and kind of comparing it to saying like people in the military know what they signed up for. So if they die, they kind of signed up for dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, they know the risks, but that is not necessarily what they're going in there to do. They're going in there to serve their country, or an NFL player is going out there to play the game of football that he loves and is good at. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anyone goes into the game thinking like, I could play 15 years, but end up with CTE. Do I really want that? Let me retire now. There are a lot of players out there like that have, you know, the long-term neck problems or the long-term heart problems or something like that. And they think way ahead in the future and they go, I'm not putting myself in that situation. But I don't think every NFL player goes out there looking at the contract going, there's a big chance that I could break my neck or get CTE, but screw it, I'm still going to do it. I just feel like that is probably people's lifelong dreams, and that is probably on the back of their mind. But you're 100% right. That's got to be a point of emphasis on when you're going into the NFL or any job or position that's contact like this. You know what I mean? You could be a hockey player and you still got to know the risks of what you're signing up for or what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I understand. Let's keep it moving. Before
we get past this topic, I honestly want to go backstage and get the opinion of Jay Sanchez, my boy Jay Money Time, on this whole thing, because this is a big major topic and I would like to get a lot of different opinions on this so people have some opinions to kind of write off. So bringing it backstage to my boy Justin Sanchez. Justin, you heard backstage what Tom Brady said about the game of football dying. How are you feeling on it? What's your opinions?
Yeah, I mean, rule changes are rule changes. Stuff is getting crazier. Facts are facts as well. So stuff getting proven, being CTE and stuff like that, the game is just getting safer. I don't know if it's dying, but the game getting safer means that there's less, big plays that we know and love, being the hard hits on the QBs or the hard hits on the wide receivers, and all that stuff's kind of going away now because it's safer. It's not necessarily dying, but yeah, that's just how I feel. They're starting to learn new facts, and they're evolving to that.
Love it, man. Got our opinion from our guy backstage, Jay Money Time. You've got your opinions from me, Tony, and Jello over this whole thing about Tom Brady saying that, football is dying and it's becoming a dead sport. Right now here on the Rick T podcast, we are going to get into our last commercial break. And when we are on the other side, when we come back from commercial break, I have one very important question to ask Jello, Tony, and all of you guys in chat to mark off the Saturday edition of the Rick T podcast, starting off year 2 with the Rick T podcast here on Saturday nights. And I have one important question for you all to answer. So stay tuned. We're going to get into this quick commercial break. And on the other side, I need some answers. Only one thinking Tyreek Hill would win this, Tony. I mean, besides Tyreek Hill, I guess.
Hey Tony, if this race happens, how much money are we putting on it?
Ooh, we have a wager, Tony. Tony, the question's out.
I'll put whatever's in my wallet right now.
Ooh, what's in your wallet? What's in your wallet, Jello? Pull your wallet out.
All right, let's see.
Let's see it. How much is Jello rolling?
So we got 1, 2, 3, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 85. I don't know, like 600, 700.
This dude got rent money in his wallet. Giannis is at the line and he's like counting his hundreds. That's Jello, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you got all that money and you still one of 2 that hasn't turned into fantasy money.
I don't have Cash App. For my business, I use PayPal and Venmo.
Obviously, you got the money. I see it right there in your hand. Jesus Christ. Hey, guys, check this.
Number 2, Surtain. Oh. Vikings football.
Are you calling him PS2 for real? There's literally a PlayStation that's called PS2.
That's why we're calling him that.
He's on Madden mode, bro. He's out there killing it.
His rating on Madden is probably garbage.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't
probably
know.
Better than any cornerback you guys have in Dallas, though.
His rating's
can't-
still better than
can't
the
argue that.
Cowboys' decision making, so we're good. Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to get to a commercial break since you guys just wanted to get mad disrespectful. I'll see you guys next Sunday. And we are back here with the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. I am your host, Eric Holmes. Follow me below on Twitter at RickT_E. Going to Littleton. Jello Rex Road. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Magic Mike Flawless. Hitting Fort Collins. Follow my boy on Twitter at ThatRTP. You already know how we do it, man. Like I said, after that commercial break, I had one monumental question that I needed answered. It's been floating around on my timeline, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I've seen it on TikTok. I've actually seen a couple debates over it, and I need this question answered. So, fellas, you're the head coach. You're maybe the GM of a very new franchise, a very new NFL team, and you can start your franchise with one quarterback. But the two quarterbacks that you have to pick from, I need to know this. Start with you, Tony. Joe Burrow to start your franchise or Justin Herbert to start your franchise? What player do you think is better? Who do you got?
Why is this a question? Justin Herbert. I don't know. This is a question that's frequently going on.
And a lot of people have been saying Joe Burrow. That's why this is a question in my head.
No, so I'm taking Justin Herbert. One, because he's the reigning rookie of the year. Two, because he's not coming off of an injured ACL. And three, just because of the people that are surrounding him. They're building that franchise around him. And we saw what the Bengals did. They didn't go get him an offensive line. They went and got him another wide receiver that he doesn't need. So, I mean, I guess based off of talent, I guess I'm getting a little bit off topic. I'm still taking Justin Herbert.
Love it. Jello, you're a GM. You're a head coach here. Two quarterbacks that you have to pick from to start your franchise off, Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. Who do you pick?
So I know where people are taking Burrow from when you look at.
Let's go.
All right, so I mean, I'm taking Justin Herbert, but I see where people are taking Burrow, just his leadership in college, what he was able to do. And if he didn't get hurt, he was on track to have better stats than Herbert had at that point. So I can see where people are taking him. Maybe this is the time, but I'm definitely going with Herbert. Just, that ACL so early in your career like that could definitely be a definitive thing, especially when you don't add a Penei Sewell at left tackle at that point. So I'm definitely going with Herbert. Herbert was able to do a lot with very little when it comes to his wide receivers, tight ends, so on and so forth, and offensive line overall. So I'm definitely going with Herbert. He's proven to me so far that he can be that generational talent, like a Mahomes-style player. So I like him. Let's see what he can do.
So I guess this debate started back in season 1 when we did the Spencer Webb interview. We actually talked to Spencer about Justin Herbert, and we asked him, what do you think of him? Do you think he's going to be rookie of the year? What's your opinions on him? And he said, a lot of people have been in my ear talking about Joe Burrow's better, Joe Burrow this, Joe Burrow that. And he actually said in the interview, if you put Justin in Joe's situation at LSU, does he do the same thing? I said, yeah. I think everyone thinks that Justin on the LSU team does the exact same thing. But if you put Joe Burrow on that Oregon team that Justin was on for 4 years, does he do back-to-back national championships like Justin Herbert? Does he lead, I wouldn't say a bottom franchise, but a lowered Pac-12 franchise to the top like a Justin Herbert does after a Marcus Mariota, man? So I'm going to go ahead and agree with what both of you guys are saying and what Spencer said. Justin Herbert any day. And just off the fact, like Spencer said, if you put Justin Herbert at LSU for 4 years, he does the exact same thing as Joe Burrow does. But if you put Joe Burrow at Oregon for 4 years, like Justin Herbert was, there's no way that there's back-to-back national championships. There's no way that there's a rookie of the year in his future. I just don't see that. So this debate is ended right here on the Rick T Podcast with all three of us go ahead and saying we're starting our franchise, our new NFL franchise as GMs with the boy, Justin Herbert.
I forgot to mute my mic. I apologize, guys. I didn't mean to scream in the mic like that.
Let's go! Let's go!
UCLA is up by 11 in the fourth quarter. So
how much time's left?
I think about 7 minutes. I didn't really check. I was just stoked.
You want me to start talking shit about a team so it gets good?
No.
I can start talking mad shit on LSU, so maybe they come back.
Please don't.
Down goes rank 14.
No, don't just leave it alone, bro. What are you doing?
I'm just going ahead and throwing it out there. You know, there's been upsets
And they're
once
ranked
tonight. There
16,
might
dog.
be okay. Down goes rank 16 to an unranked team.
Don't jinx it. Just leave it be.
You
leave
guys
it
are some
alone.
bad. Yeah, y'all are some bad dudes out there in UC or UCLA, huh? Y'all some bad
We
dudes.
got some mean running backs, bro. We got some
Chip
mean
Kelly's
running
got
backs.
his ducks in a row, man, huh?
That's
Hey,
fair. We stole him from you, so I understand why
we
you're
got
upset.
the Jordan comment from the real OG 99, but that would mean I'd have to jump over my green screen here in the back and grab him. Jello, help me out, bro. Help me out.
All right, so we got little fours there. Might be a little
Keep 'em
dirty.
coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
All right, let's see here.
He's all looking around.
Yep. All right, keep them coming.
I got that.
Ooh, snake skins.
The pythons. All right, give me 1 second. Why not?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to just see Jello just pull out $1,000 pair of shoes.
All right,
He's like, hello. Yeah, who's popping and who's dropping in Jello's closet?
we got ones right.
Oh, damn. Pop those back on, Jello. Whoa.
I've had these for a minute, but
I'm going to give these shoes a name. I'm calling these the mint ones. There's no mint on them, but those are fucking minty.
all right, let's see. We got these
Fresh.
out there, but I did go.
Ooh, those are tight.
Those are California Dreamins. California Dreamins.
All right, let's see here.
I'm going to need to get me a pair of those.
Right. All right, give me 1 sec. I got you.
I see you with the Kobe Bryant jersey in the back, too.
Yep. So we'll go a little Reebok action there.
Okay.
Ooh.
These are actually my high school shoes, but I dig them. The Spider-Man Hyper Dunks.
Oh.
Bro, why are those the shoes that everybody who got cut from the basketball team wore?
Right. Oh, here we'll throw those. my girls' shoe game on point too.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. She keep her shoes in your office?
Yeah. So the kids don't get to them. Those things, you know how easy it is for kids to tear those up.
Do I know how easy it is for kids to get into shit, Jello? Yes, I know.
No, I do not.
Alea's a month and a half old and she gets into shit. So
right. Yeah, I
get it.
got a ton more in the closet. I'm just not pulling them all out right now. Let's see. I got some pink Vans here.
So when I was working on getting a new apartment, I stayed with Jello for about Jello. What was it? 2 months, maybe.
Something like that. Yeah.
And when I was staying on Jello's couch for the 2 months while I was trying to get my own apartment, I literally was sleeping on the couch next to a wall with about 50 pairs of shoes just lined up by his front door.
I asked Jello a couple weeks ago. I think it was when you were off the show, but I asked him what was his shoe net worth when he had all those. What did you say? I think you said like 25,000 or something like that.
Well, there's something like that. So in total, at one point, I had 137 pairs. On my other Instagram, Jellosaurus Rex, there's actually a video of like a bunch of them, and that was about half. But
No free advertisements.
I had everything from pure monies to exclusive Vans to ones, twos, threes, fours, five. I was like like my bank account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was shoes, not M's. But I had a little bit of everything. Here, while we're at it, I'll pull out one of my favorite pairs. This one I couldn't get rid of. But
we sent him down the rabbit hole.
Exactly.
We sent him down the rabbit hole.
We might as well talk about it. We got some other ones in here. I got so many pairs. Let's just talk about it. All right.
Hey, rally chug while he's getting those.
Chug, 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 chug. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Woo!
We'll look at a few other ones, but I had 137 pairs at one point. I kept some of them. So I got a few.
Oh shit!
Damn.
I got the old LeBrons. I think these are the 13s. Crap, I can't remember these 13. I think these are.
Those are your lawn shoes. Don't lie.
Pull the boots back up, Kanye. Damn.
I didn't even know Timberland Nikes existed, bro.
And then
dude, New York is tripping watching this show right now. New York is sweating.
I love stuff like this. There's just so much for it. But yeah, I had 137 pairs while we're at it. It was nuts. You wouldn't believe let's put it this way. I posted up when we found out when Savannah was pregnant with Deacon. I put a bunch of pairs up on eBay, and I sold 21 pairs in 3 minutes. No idea what to do. I had to ship them all next day. Like, it was nuts.
Damn. How much money did you make in that one day?
Shoot, so those ones were. So I moved the. Oh my God, which ones were they? I had the whites, the blues, and the blacks of the. Oh my God, the dang boxes were $200. I always forget what they're called. But I mean, those 3 pairs right there, I think was 15.
Damn.
But I mean, that's what I did in college too. If you guys didn't know, that entire time I was buying.
No, bro, you were passed out drunk on our couch,
throwing up, walking ghost back to the dorm.
All right. But I was still hustling to do things like that, you know. But
one of these nights we're gonna have a Rick T pod. One of these nights we're having a Rick T podcast. Remember when? And it's gonna be just CMU memories.
Just go to Jello.
I don't think some of those are legal to tell.
Go to it right now, jello.source.rex, and there's a video of what we did in college. Me jumping off the railing onto a couch on Halloween after there's a giant fight outside. Someone got blood on me. I was wearing a jailhouse outfit, which actually came in handy later down the road.
Didn't you like break your ankle that night?
No, but I messed up ankle, so it didn't help it at all because I kind of hit it on the floor. But we don't do that anymore. It's weird to see what I did in college, and now I got kids. I'm responsible.
all right. Chat doesn't want to hear about our college memories. All right, let's keep it cruising.
Eric Joe's throwing up. What he was just sitting. Oh shit, he is throwing up on himself. He's like, blah, blah. All
right,
we're like, oh shit.
Since we're gonna stay on this topic, I'm gonna bring up one last one. Do y'all remember when our roommate, I don't want to say his name.
Call him a code name.
Yep, I know.
Michael.
That's Jello's name, though.
My name.
No, I know, but it starts with an M. But it's not. It's not Matt. It's not Matt. It's not Matt.
Got it.
You're talking about the clown that people thought was climbing up poles.
Yes.
Yes.
So remember that night we were all sitting there faded in the dorm room, and Julio. That's a good one.
Yeah. Let's call him Julio.
Okay, Julio. So we were all sitting in the dorm room, and he was telling this story about how he made out with his cousin.
Oh, dude, he was weird. He was real weird.
Story in mind, but I remember that.
He's like, "Hey, man, is there any way you guys could leave the room?" He's like, "Is there any guy, dude?" He asked me one time. It was like me, Kenny, and Matt. He's like, "Oh, you were in that room too." I don't know where you were at, but he's like, "Hey, guys, can you guys leave the room? I'm having a girl come over." So we left. We're like, "Hey, Julio." Almost said his name. I almost said his name. I'm all, Julio. Yes, we'll leave the room. I will give you a couple hours. Like, do your thing. We left. I don't even remember what we went and did, but we came back and he was like, he was just big balling. Like, get off me. I just got some poon. I'm the man of this dorm. And we walk in the room and he's all, yeah, I got the prized possession right here. And it's like a pair of panties hung up on the door. And we're like, Miguel, okay. And I'm pretty sure someone grabbing him is like, woo, like these smell like vibrant, dude. Like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, it was her time of the month. And we were all
right, bro. Let's
you just said the name.
Let's get off. Let's move on. Move on, bro. Move on.
All right, this doesn't make any sense, but
and that's the show.
All right, let's get back into it. So, fantasy football.
Nah, man, that's really the show. We can't talk about poon and then keep going. Y'all want to have a dance battle?
I'm white. He freezes.
Bro.
Oh, shit. Yo, New York's getting it popping.
Chicago, what you got?
Hey.
Well, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Sacramento. LA.
Oh my God, this has just gone way off.
Minnesota.
No, bro, I'm shutting this down. Let's move on. The chat's
Jacksonville. Oh, it's Lincoln, Nebraska right here.
What your number?
Hey, let's hit Kansas City.
I can do that one.
Hey, Detroit.
I can do that one. What's up, fool?
Vegas.
Hey, you got to pull up the Tallahassee, Florida.
Hey, let's hit Montana. Oh shit, Montana's going stupid. Brooklyn.
Nah, bro. Shut this shit the fuck down, bro.
New Jersey.
Damn.
Denver. Yo. No, I'm just playing. I had to get it crumped out.
Look, you got little Jay White laughing at our white asses. Look at that.
Sorry about that, fellas. Hey, we had to crump it out.
You had me out of character, bro. Don't do that ever again.
This is the first time saying it. All you see is Eric yelling like Denver, and that's all you see. And they're like, "Nah, I'm out."
All I'm saying is Montana. Angel's saying Montana for the win. Digman saying they didn't lost their mind. I'm giving it to Montana too. I think Montana went stupid.
How did we get so off track? Now I forget how this all really started at this point.
It's because we started talking about Poon and then we got into a crump out and now we got to get out of here. It's just we were just way out of pocket.
It'd be like that.
This is the Ricky podcast. Hey, Tony, Jello, thank you boys for tuning in. Hey, Saturday is about to get crazy. I can tell by this show specifically that Saturday is about to just. This is the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. I am your host, Eric Holmes, along with the co-hosts and analysts on the Rick T Podcast team, Jello Rexroad, Tony Cave, and let's give a big shout-out backstage. Justin Sanchez doing the thing behind the stage. Always a pleasure to have you, my brother. Hey, my boys went hard. We always do. We'll be back on Wednesday night with the Talk Your Talk show, and then next Saturday. Hey, next Saturday is huge. Football is back. We're making picks and we're taking them down. But this is the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. We are out of here.
Plug Angelo's Twitter real quick.
Oh, follow Angel's Twitter. He just made a Twitter, Angel HD Graphics. You guys can see it on his Twitch name as well, Angel HD Graphics. 50 followers, and I'll do a giveaway.
Ooh. He did that by himself. That's not RTP certified. That's Angel certified.
We're going to make it RTP certified, though. This is the Rick T Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. I am your host, Eric, along with Jello Rexroad and Tony Cave. We are out of here.
We're dropping out.